Hello again, I'm Tom and this is Real 6 String. Today's lesson we're going to be working on a very simple 12-bar blues. So it's a foundational part of all modern music, regardless of whether you play blues or not, it's well worth learning. So we'll be covering the structure of it, how to play it, and of course how to start using it as well. There will be a very slow practice section at the end which will help you to string everything we learned together and give you something to work on your timings. So in the meantime, if you could hit that float and subscribe button, it would make a huge difference. It would be greatly appreciated. We'll be breaking down the rhythm, the timing, and how to apply it all in context. And then there will be a very slow practice section round at the end. So it will give you a chance to practice it all together and work on all of those changes. E is the perfect key to start in because it means that we can make use of a load of our open strings. So what we need to be doing to start with is putting our index finger on the 2nd fret of the A string. And then we're only focusing on the E and A strings with the right hand. Okay, so you just want to hit those two and that's our power chord. And then the shape that we're moving is to bring the ring finger up to the 4th fret on the A string. So we play with the index finger and we play it again, and we move to the ring finger and we play the ring finger again and we move back to the index finger. And to make that dynamically all fit together with the sound that we're used to hearing, you can add that palm mute, which means just adding this fleshy part of your hand right on top of where the string starts. You want it to be directly on top of the saddle there, where the strings start. If you're too far forward, it just mutes it, and obviously too far back, you're not on the strings. So find that sweet spot where you can still hear the notes. You still want to have that difference between the two notes as you move between them, but you just want it to be that little bit muted. So we're going to play it with that little bit of swing, which is that 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. But you can play it straighter if you want. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, which would lend itself a little more to a more rock and roll beat as well. And for that full section on the E, we're going to have to do 4 bars in a row, which is going to go 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 2 and 2, 3 and 4 and 3, 2 and 3 and 4 and 4, 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, so that's just the first 4 bars of our 12-bar blues is our E chord. So that E in our scale of E major is going to be our first chord. I'll have a full breakdown of what all of the scale degrees mean later on in a different video, but for now all we need to know is that our first chord, wherever that is, our 4th chord is directly down by a string. So in this case we're moving from E to A, which means moving everything that we're playing down by a string. And exactly the same with the right hand, we'd now be playing the 5th and 4th strings. So that means we're moving between the 2nd fret on the D string now and the 4th fret on the D string. So for this one, we now do 2 bars of A, which is going to be our 4th chord. So we've got 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then we have 2 more bars of our first chord. So we move all of that exactly back to the E where we started. And we have 2 more bars there, which are going to be 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 And then what we have to do is move to our fifth chord. So we do one bar of this one now, which the fifth chord is going to be B. So wherever you are, for your fourth chord, you move that up by 2 frets. And that goes for anywhere. So if we were starting up here on the 5th fret, and that was our first chord, we were to move exactly that shape down by a string. That would be our 4. And if we move that up by 2 frets, that would be our 5. So that's just every punk song ever. Except what we're doing is using all of the open strings to make the shift here that little bit easier to work with. So we've got the E, the A, and then the B is going to be 2 frets up here. So for that one, the shape would be, which can be a bit of a stretch to begin with. So if you need to, and this is a little bit of a trick from Jimmy Reed, I found out through Keith Richards, but if you want to do this, it makes it more of a B7, which fits really, really well in this structure. So for that one, we're moving what we've done for the A up by 2 frets again. So we're now moving between the open 5th string there, the open A string even, and the 4th fret on the D string, up to the 6th fret on the D string. And there's just one bar of that one. So it would be 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then once again after the 5, we're moving down to the 4 again, which is going to be A. So 3, 4, 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and then back to chord 1 again, which is going to be the E. So we've got 3, 4, 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and then the last chord is kind of up to you. So if you're doing it to go round a number of times, you can play another 1 chord there at the end. Or if you're trying to make it more of a turnaround or trying to make it more of a sort of crescendo for the ending, you can play another 5th chord there instead. So it's up to you whether you want to do the 1 or the 5. Personally, I quite like adding in a 5. It makes it really feel like the end of a cycle and moving on to the next one. So from that one more on the 5 would be 3, 4, 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and then an E or an E7 or whatever it is that you like to finish. So that 12 bar is a really simple format, as I say, that was the foundation for a lot, if not all, of popular music. And there's a tree chart out there which shows you how everything is stemmed from the blues, which is very interesting. I strongly recommend checking it out. So it's an absolutely foundational part of guitar, foundational part of music, but it also teaches you that 1, 4, 5 movement, which is very, very beneficial for a lot of songs, especially pop music. Gives you a chance to start moving between those positions and start understanding the rhythm and the timing as they all fit together. I'll give it a slow run through of the entire thing just to make sure that we've got all of the different changes and all of the different bars in there. So we've got 3, 4, so E, 2, 3, 4, and 2, 2, 3, 4, and 3, 2, 3, 4, and 4, 2, 3, 4, and A, 2, 3, 4, and A, 2, 3, 4, and E, 2, 3, 4, and E, 2, 3, 4, and B, 2, 3, 4, and A, 2, 3, 4, and E, 2, 3, 4, B, 2, 3, 4, and finish there. To clarify, that B that we used to begin with is the same as your power chord. except you're then having to stretch your little finger up to the 6th fret on the 4th string. Which, if you need to, you can just move it up the fretboard. The frets get a little smaller. Makes it a lot easier to practice and move around. And alternatively, if you're wanting to play a blues in any other key, you can move it up to where you started. If you need the help with the fretboard, I've got another video out which explains all of that, how to transpose and how to move. But for the sake of argument, let's choose A. So if we want, we can put our index finger on the A, which is the 5th fret of the 6th string, reaching up to the 7th fret of the 5th string to make that power chord. And then your little finger's going to be reaching up to the 9th fret on the 5th string above it. That would be your 1 chord wherever you are, no matter where you need to move it. But for the sake of A, we're then moving that directly downwards by a string. And then obviously back to the E. But for the B, or for the 5 chord, we'd be moving that up by 2 frets from the 4th chord. Then to 4 again. And then that back to 1. So the movements are exactly the same wherever you are. And that's fundamentally what your 1, 4 and 5 chords are in a key. But we'll have more on that at a later date. And for the practice, I've got a very slow 60 beat backing track here that I've made up, which is very minimal, but it will just give you a chance to follow along with the whole thing. But it gives you a chance to transition between the 1st and 4th chords, 4th and 5th chords, so on and so forth. Give you a chance to get used to all the different position changes, but in a nice slow way, whilst you can still focus on your timing. So I recommend practicing it as is to get that rhythm going. But when you feel ready, try and put it all together. That backing track will be a great help. And that's our entire video for today. Thank you very much for watching. I had a great time making it as usual. If there's anything you're not sure about, if there's anything you would like to see me cover in a future video, please let me know in the comments and I'm very happy to help out. Other than that, if you like the video, please give it a like. If you can subscribe, it will go a really long way. It will really help and it'd be greatly appreciated. Other than that, good luck with the practice and I'll speak to you in the next one.